What is up, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So I have about 10, 11 stocks here on my iPad that I want to go over. 10 stocks that I'm looking to buy for this upcoming week in the stock market. And I also quickly want to break down the S&P. I know we've been breaking this thing down like crazy every single day, but I want to spend about 30 to 60 seconds on it as well so we can see where the overall markets are right now. So you know what to do. If you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to go down below, get into the Strive Smart Discord chat, the Facebook group, get 2 stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600 and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free, linked right down below. And you guys could also check out the Patreon if you want real-time buy and sell alerts, morning update videos, exclusive content, call-outs throughout the day. The Patreon is linked right down below. Also in the description box. So let's just get into it. And again, I've been talking about the markets, the S&P. I think it's overbought, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but yeah, I mean, I think the markets are a bit overbought. S&P 500 here is perfectly in this uptrending channel, which, again, we've been talking about this on the YouTube channel for weeks at this point, and it's been trading within this thing like clockwork, right? And at this point in time, and on Friday, you guys saw we hit an all-time high at 39.37. At this point in time, we are at the resistance. We are pretty stretched. The RSI is almost at 70, and I mean, yeah, we could go higher, maybe 39.50. I've said before, 39.50, maybe 4,000. We could go there. That would be even more overbought. But honestly, I think, we're going to be heading down a bit lower. I wouldn't be surprised if we did fall maybe down to 3,800, maybe about, 3,750. That could be a pretty healthy spot. And nobody knows what's going to happen. We have stimulus. Obviously, the economy's still crappy. There's a lot of things going on right now, mostly stimulus, which is fueling this market. So we might not even get a little pull down. We might get a 2-3% little pullback before it rips up higher. I don't know if we're going to get a 20%, 10-15% correction, at least right now. And we'll see what happens. I mean, time will tell, and I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the overall markets right now. How much do you have in stocks, percentage-wise? Are you all in stocks, or are you all in cash? Or are you 50-50 cash stocks, waiting for a pull down? Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. And now let's just get into the meat and potatoes. I have about 10, 11 stocks here that I do want to go over. And stock number 1 is IPOE. This is the SPAC that is taking SoFi public. And this has been a pretty crazy SPAC. I mean, you guys can see here it went from $12 back in the beginning of 2021 all the way up to $23 in about a day, 2 days of trading pretty much, and then it pulled back, popped up to a new high at 24, pulled back to 17, popped to 28, and now we're on another one of those pullbacks where we're actually slowly starting to curl back up and potentially break out. I mean, on Friday we went up 3.6%. And like you can see, I mean, right where we're curling back out to break out, it's at a higher low here at about 22, 23 bucks. It's, the previous higher low was 18 bucks. So that means the uptrend is obviously continuing. And we can see here a big moving average resistance is coming up right around the 50 SMA. We actually closed right under that on Friday here on the 4-hour chart. You guys can see it. So I think if IPOE, and remember, markets are closed tomorrow on Monday, but Tuesday, if IPOE could break out of this 50 SMA on the 4-hour and probably out of, let's say, 2450, I think that is going to be breakout territory on IPOE to the point where maybe it does get back up to the high 20s. I could see it get back up to $27, $28, and maybe out of that resistance to hit the higher high and continue the uptrend even further. So IPOE, I like it here on the dip. I think from 24.50, if it breaks there up to 28 bucks, that could be a good move of about 10-12%. So that is stock or SPAC, whatever you want want to call it, number one, ticker symbol IPOE. And Fastly is one that I made a post earlier on the day in the Patreon about. And this is a stock that went down almost 6% on Friday, down a little bit over $6 per share. And we can see right here on Fastly, we're hovering right over the 180 SMA 4-hour chart at a potential higher low, and we closed under, despite the fact that we're holding the uptrend here, which is good, we closed under a pretty big resistance being around $103 to $105. That level of resistance was back from the beginning of July and back in the end of December, right around those 103, 105, 106 price targets. So I think for Fastly to be a breakout play, it has to truly confirm the higher low here, the uptrend, which it looks like it wants to, and we have to break out of 105. And if that happens, big if that happens, if all those line up the perfect way, we might be able to play it from, let's say, 106, 107, maybe up to about 110, 115, maybe even 118, 120 on the higher end. Pretty much we'll be able to play it in this gap that you guys see right here. So we could make anywhere from, 6, 7 to upwards of 10, 11% on this move. And this stock, or should I say this company, reports earnings on the 17th. So what is that? So tomorrow's Monday, 15th. Tuesday, 16th. So that's going to be on Wednesday. Fastly is reporting earnings. So I like this dip. We opened up a nice window, and now I just want to see if we could slowly fill that gap up, which obviously if we do that, that is going to be where the money is made. So that is Fastly, ticker symbol FSLY. Stock number 3 is not the best deal right now, in my humble opinion, but I think if it pulls back 5-10%, it could be, right? And this is Shopify, ticker symbol SHOP. And if you guys have been following the channel for a while, I'm talking maybe 6 to 8 to 10 months, Shopify is actually one of those stocks we were talking about a ton. In this range right here, you can see there was a big resistance at 1100, and I was calling the ascending triangle all day on this. We saw a big resistance, 1100, 1150, and we were uptrending into that. And I told you guys a couple months ago, Shopify could truly break out of 1100, 1200, and who knows where it's going to go from there. It could break out. That is what the ascending triangle would look like if it panned out. And fast forward a couple months, that's exactly what happened. And now we might have ran a bit too much. I mean, I think it's a little overbought here at 1500, a little bit under 1500 a share. So I would honestly like to see Shopify get down to 1250, maybe 1300 flat. I think that could be a good point to maybe scoop up some shares. That's about what, 10, 11%, 12% lower from where we are now. So yeah, you could argue that's a big drop, but it's so overbought. I mean, take a look at this thing. It's very overextended. It's ran up in a straight line these past 2 weeks from $1,000 to $1,500. RSI is very overheated. So it pretty much depends on earnings, guys. If earnings what's the word here? If earnings are underwhelming, that's the word. If earnings are underwhelming, this could easily, I'm talking easily, fill the gap down to 1250, and that would be the price to pick up some shares, maybe on an overreaction after earnings. And that's if we do see an overreaction. For all we know, they could, crush earnings and the stock explodes, or they could crush earnings and the stock goes down, which could be the overreaction. So we have to wait and see with Shopify. But overall, any pullback, I'm seriously considering on this one. And Palantir is another one, PLTR, which is in a pull down period right now. It has been these past 2-3 trading days, and this was actually at $45 back in the end of January, and now it's at $31. So that's well in a bear market. Palantir is down about 30% from its all-time high, and in fact, now that I'm looking at it, a bad thing about this pattern, what we're seeing here, especially this break right here, is we can see it broke the support on Friday. On Friday, the stock went down 3.6%, and we broke the support of this wedge. So that's not good. Now it looks like it wants to fill the gap down, maybe to 29.80, maybe $30, right around this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. That's where I could see Palantir get, and that could be an interesting price point to maybe consider. And again, guys, as always, I'm not a financial advisor. You must always do your own research, but I think that could be a decent spot for me. And note this in your notes, Palantir also reports earnings. This is on the 16th of February. So watch out for those earnings coming up. Wait, did I just say... Yeah, 16th. So that is in 2 days from now. So watch out for Palantir. And TWLO, Twilio, is also reporting earnings, I believe, on the 17th? Yeah, 17th. There we go. 2/17. So that's on Wednesday. And this is another one of those stocks that has had ridiculous momentum. Shout out to you. If you've been in Twilio, you've been crushing it. And kind of like Shopify, this has gone in a straight line. Remember, Shopify went from 1,000 to 1,500. That was a big move. Well, Twilio went from 338, 340 to 440. That's also a big move. It went up about 25% in the past 2 weeks alone. So I think this is due for a pullback, whether we get to about 390, maybe 380, 375 even, maybe 370, right around the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. All of these points could be levels of consideration, and they report earnings again on the 17th. So maybe if they what's the word again? I keep forgetting this word. If the earnings are underwhelming, there we go. If the earnings are underwhelming, this could go down. So watch out for Twilio, Shopify. Those are two that have a crap ton of momentum that if they cool off a bit, then we could strike. So watch out for those. NEO is one that, out of all the ones we mentioned today so far, NEO's the only one that I actually have an open position in. And I'm watching this heavily this week. I mean, we saw a lot of momentum last week, especially because we broke out of this $59, $60 level of resistance, which has been plaguing the stock for pretty much a lot of 2021 here. We saw a lot of resistance there in the middle of January and pretty much all of February up until last week. And you guys can see we hit 60 last week. We broke up to $64. Might as well draw this resistance right here so you guys can see it. And now we pull back down to about $59, $60. We're holding that 50 SMA at a higher low here on the 4-hour chart. So do we end up holding NEO here and ripping back up to fill the gap to 65? I think so. I think that's very likely. That would be about a 7% move from $60 up to about 65. So that is kind of what I'm banking on. I mean, again, I'm already in NEO. My average cost is at about, let me check my notes. It's like 57. It might be in the 56s. Yeah, it's 56s. So I'm already up on my position. But for those of you guys that are not in, I mean, you still have a chance. I mean, $60 again up to 65. That's what I'm looking at here. And ultimately, I could see it get above 65. And NEO has earnings coming up as well. Not this week, but in about 2 weeks on the 1st of March. So do we run up into earnings? That is definitely a possibility. So watch out for NEO. FCEL is another one, also known as Fuel Cell Energy, ticker symbol FCEL. This is one that, out of most stocks out there, you're not going to see a chart like this. This stock has gone from $1.50 back in October. If you just put your whole account in FCEL back in October, you slept, you hibernated 3-4 months up until now, hey, you'd be one happy guy, you'd be one happy girl. And let me tell you, I wish I did that. But you can see it went from $1.50 all the way to $30 freaking dollars. And that is what is that? Almost a 20x increase, something like that. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Maybe not a 20, but still, that is ridiculous, guys. We've been hitting higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff, clearly riding this 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart. And now we're actually, well, last week we already did. We saw a bit of a pullback. We got overbought, 29.60. RSI was screaming, let me pull down, and we got the pull down. And we're down about $3 from that high. We're down about 12 to 15% roughly. And what do you know? On Friday, we went up almost 2%. We're actually holding the uptrend by the looks of it. And I think if this breaks into the mid to high 26s, and especially if 27 could break, FCEL is off to the races, in my honest opinion, to the point where we might even take out the highs. And like I said, this is one of those stocks that has ridiculous momentum, and on every pullback, you can't sleep on it. You really cannot sleep on it. It could rip higher, even if you're like, oh, it needs to pull down a bit more. You know, it could totally surprise you. So watch out for FCEL. This has a good amount of opportunity this week. And another one here that is reporting earnings is Walmart. Walmart is reporting earnings on the 18th. So what is that? Thursday. So they still have a couple of days. And I think we covered this last week on the channel, or it might have been on the Patreon, either or. We can see here the inverse head and shoulder. Left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. We can see a downtrend these past almost, wow, it's been over a month. We've been downtrending here on Walmart. And again, we're forming this inverse head and shoulder. So I think if, and we already are curling up, I think if we curl out of, let's say, 145, we break this downtrend and the 180 SMA on this 4-hour, and we start to, you know, tread water with the 146s, 147s, if we start to break 148, I mean, I think this could be a nice play to the mid 150s, at least 150, 150 to 152 to about 155. I think that is where it could be going here. You know, just watch out for the inverse head and shoulder, because by the looks of it, with my charting here, based on how I have it out, drawn out, the right shoulder would complete at about 150, 150. So from where it is now, that gives Walmart about a 5% potential for profit on the higher end. And again, our goal is not to grab the whole profit. I mean, you can't do that every single time with every move. Yeah, sometimes you do get lucky and you time the bottom and the top pretty perfectly. But the goal for the most part is you must just grab a piece of the pie. That's what I like to say. You know, don't eat the whole pizza, man. Just eat a piece of the pie. Get your piece of the pie. And that's what I focus on. So those are what? We went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks. So we have 2 more to go over here. And these are very similar. They both have to deal with, you guessed it, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and maybe you didn't guess it because I didn't even give you a chance. But yeah, these are 2 crypto plays. And one of them is Mara, ticker symbol MARA. And if you guys recall, this is crazy. We actually called this out when it was $16. I made a Mara video a couple of weeks ago. I actually played it during this dip. I made some money, but gosh, if I held, I would have doubled my money and some, because I was actually in at about 16, 17 bucks. That's crazy, right? And now we're all the way up to about $38. We're hovering around that all-time high. It went up 3.2% on Friday. And Bitcoin right now, I don't have my phone on me, but last time I did check it before I started filming this video, Bitcoin was right around the all-time high. It was like 48,000, 49,000. So of course, as long as Bitcoin is up above 45K, 47K, if it's hovering around 48K, I don't think these are going to drop. I mean, these mining plays, these crypto mining plays, Mara and Riot, right? Riot's the other one. They look pretty much similar in terms of the charts. I don't think they're going to drop, but the second that Bitcoin starts seeing a bigger pullback, and even if volatility starts kicking in and we somehow get to the lower 40Ks, maybe high 30,000s, on a pullback. And by no means, guys, am I saying Bitcoin's going to collapse. But what you notice, the nature of Bitcoin is obviously very volatile, and it goes up a ton, and the pullbacks are big as well, and usually it goes up higher than what the pullbacks are, but still it could go up 30%, 40%, and then we could see a 15% drop in a day or two, or, a 20% drop in 3 days before it consolidates and then goes higher. That's the nature of Bitcoin. And what I'm trying to tell you guys here is you have to be careful, because Bitcoin is very correlated, or shall I say, the Riot stock here and Mara stock, they're correlated with Bitcoin. So if we do see that drop in Bitcoin, we see that volatility, you best believe that these are going to be dropping as well. And by the looks of these charts, I am not interested. I'm not going to lie. I'm not interested. I would not want to get caught up here at 50 and then all of a sudden it drops to the mid 30s. That is not a bag that I'm willing to hold. And if you guys are, hey, by all means, go buy this up. But for me, I'm playing it safe. I already have Bitcoin. Of course, I've been making money with Bitcoin for the past year. I bought less than a year, actually. I bought back into Bitcoin in May 2020. When it was $9,000, I started buying back in. So I triple my money at least on Bitcoin based on my average cost. And of course, I'm not all in at 9K. I've been, averaging up slowly. So, maybe not 3, maybe I didn't 3x, but I definitely 2.5x my money there. So I'm not trying to chase these crypto plays because I'm going to miss out. So from my perspective, I'm just waiting for it to cool off. I'm waiting for the pullback. And once Riot, let's say, could get down to $30, hey, I'd be interested. If Mara could get down to maybe let's see, $28, maybe down to $30, I'd be interested in it. And until then, I am not looking to force it. And you guys could do what you want, again, as always, but that is just my opinion. And yeah, this is the StockSurfest YouTube channel, right, guys? This is my opinion, right? So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you all do have a great rest of your weekend. And remember, the markets are closed tomorrow on Monday, so be mindful of that. And I'll probably make another video tomorrow. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, get your 2 stocks from WeBull. They're valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you get 2 stocks. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance by simply opening up an account and depositing any amount of money. All of those are free, linked right down below. And same with the Patreon. If you guys want real-time buy and sell alerts, morning update videos, you guys want call outs, exclusive content, that is all on the Patreon. So check that, also linked right down below. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.